welcome. This is the There's a Hole Here, It's Gone Now podcast, which is kind of a temporary title, or we might keep it, I don't know. Grim Santo here, and I am joined by
That girl, and you sounded like a robot when you said that. Hello, you were reached. This is
that's my
a
that is my professional radio voice. Thank you very much. Okay. You just
very robotic. Awesome.
All right. Oh, this is a great start. All right, so trying to horror podcast. We're kind of muddling our way through it. We're not exactly sure of the format or anything. So we're just gonna put something down on I could say vinyl, tape, no, right? Digital, MP3.
It's written somewhere.
Yeah. Blocks of code on my computer. And so I guess we're gonna start with well, a game that interests us both, which would be The Evil Within. Why don't you tell me a little bit about The Evil Within?
Yay! It's the return of Shinji Mikami to survival horror, and you had that really crazy trailer that came out. Was it last week? And I was super excited about it because it was live action, and it made me think of Resident Evil 1, which was, I'm sure, his intention.
I'm sure it was too. I mean, they clearly brought him out to do a horror game. It seems right, like, and because he's like kind of like what, all the father of survival horror at this point.
It's his studio, though, isn't it?
It is. He used to be a part of Platinum Games,
Yeah.
and then he broke off to do his own thing.
And this is their first Tango GameWorks. This is their first,
Yes.
I think, game. They're 2 years old.
Is it really 2 years old?
Yeah,
Whoa.
they are 2 years.
So they've been working on it for quite a while.
Yeah, it's coming out this year, right? I hope
I
so.
believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they went straight at it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm seeing that you listed all these credits that he has, and I didn't realize he did half of these things. Like, how high was he when he wrote Killer 7?
Probably very.
Because that's like that story is just like really whacked out. But he did like Phoenix Wright too as well.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a Aladdin from back in the day.
And,
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I don't know about that one though.
and Goof Troop and Dino Crisis. I mean, he had Resident Evil and Dino Crisis, which are two of just my all-time favorite PS1 games.
Oh, Resident Evil is the reason why I bought a PlayStation 1 to begin with.
And
Before Resident Evil lost its way.
oh, but see, he's back though. Now he's back in, well, not for Resident Evil, but he's back in the seat and making a game and really wanting to push the horror aspect of it. And judging by that bloody trailer, I think it's gonna deliver with gore and fright and stuff.
I'm just wondering if he's gonna go straight like horror, survival horror, like kind of Resident Evil, old school Silent Hill. Or is he gonna like do the new thing that they have now, where it's like action, like say Dead Space, like almost like a sequel to Resident Evil? I feel like it's like a spiritual sequel of what Resident Evil could have been if it didn't go to the Resident Evil 5, 6 route, and then they went all action. It's like every horror franchise, other than Silent Hill. Silent Hill's been pretty consistent in its portrayal, trying to keep it smaller, but every other horror series has gone like complete action.
Yeah, I mean, I have hope because listed in the weapons that you're going to be able to use are axes. So I have hope that it's going to be less actiony, like let's say Resident Evil 6 was, because of all the gore. I'm sorry, not gore, all the guns and stuff. If you're going to have an axe in there, I think it'll be at least less action than that. And there's also going to be traps,
Okay.
which is really interesting. Supposedly it's supposed to be able to set traps for the monsters, and which are plural. They're gonna have zombies.
Are they really zombies, or are they like some kind of like mutated humans?
From what I read on it was an IGN article that gave us the Evil Within first look. They said, he said in a video that there will be classic zombie-like creatures, so zombie-like
Okay.
creatures, and other ones. So you have the guy with the glass like stuck all in him. You have the four-armed lady. and there's also some pictures I saw that the zombies have glowing eyes. So
Like the Crimson Heads in a Resident Evil remake.
yeah, very, very similar
Nice.
to that.
Now, I know you did a little bit of research. So do you have any story elements, or is it just they're just showing like the environments or whatever?
They just like very, very tiny bit of info. The protagonist's name is Sebastian, and he's a detective who's called in to investigate a, a homicide in an asylum. And I think when he gets there with his partner, there's a bunch of empty cop cars, and none of the cops are anywhere to be found. And I think he gets knocked out, and then wakes up in the asylum, and
That's where it begins.
that's where it begins.
Okay, interesting. So I guess they're gonna play that whole mysterious angle. You don't exactly know what's going on, which is what you can do like in the beginning of a series, right?
Yeah,
'Cause, like if you think about it, it's kind of like I guess that's why Dead Space and like Resident Evil kind of went a different route because the surprise element is gone because you know the zombies and you know where they came from, or you know where the necromorphs came from. Like so it's like the beginning.
yeah, you can do a lot more at the start because yeah, it's always a constant building, and it's like, all right, now we have to add more monsters, and then names. But yeah, that's when it just gets crazier and crazier, and then everything is one of those giant boss battles like you see in Resident Evil 6.
Oh
Um,
my God. Oh, what was it in Resident Evil 6 when you fight that one guy with like in like 18 different forms?
yeah, so that's what you can end up with when you're just constantly building on something, and when you go bigger each time, that's what you kind of end up with.
Yeah, so I'm glad that the father of Resident Evil came back and hopefully this game sells because I think companies don't have any faith in horror games anymore.
It's tough.
Because if you think about like yeah, you know like there was quotes from the EA when they were talking about Dead Space and how they made it more actiony because Dead Space 2 didn't sell as much as Dead Space 1. Silent Hill, right? Like the Silent Hill keeps on coming out and they keep trying different things within a smaller horror environment, but that series doesn't really sell all that well. You know, it's not like Call of Duty where they sell like what like 16 gazillion million units. You
Yeah,
know,
no, it's weird. It's one of those genres that you have a lot of people who champion, but unfortunately, not all of the good ones have the selling power to
yeah.
make the series, continue, or to make other people take those same kind of risks. Because it's a really, really tough genre um, to do well, and we've been lucky enough to have quite a few good horror games. But I would just really like to see a lot more.
I mean, you have a lot of indie games that are coming out that are like smaller in scale, which are cool, but it's always good to have like a polished horror game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, much more, I guess, larger scale. You want all kinds of, horror. You want the same kind when you're the same kind of, I guess, production value. I don't know. It's hard. I'm trying to find the wording, and none of it sounds right in my head because they're all really good games on both aspects. But yeah, I would like to
Yeah.
see bigger budgeted horror games as well.
So it's like the difference between like horror movies, right? So you have like the big budget-ish horror movies, which would be like Evil Dead, Cabin in the Woods versus like Hatchet 3 or whatever miscellaneous Netflix horror movie is there.
And people both like Hatchet 3 and Evil Dead. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Hatchet movie before, but apparently people must like it because they're up to the third one.
well. They love their Hatchet.
This is true. All right, so now that we've touched upon Evil Within, and we'll talk about it some more when we get some more information about it. Let's talk a little bit about horror series known as the Zombieland. Actually, it's not called the Zombieland; it's called Zombieland, the series. But I mean, we both had a chance to check it out. And what were your thoughts?
It's weird because when I saw the trailer initially, I was like, oh man, these people look wrong because, of course, you're used to the actors. And then when I saw the episode, I actually thought that they did a good job with the acting. It's just something about how the show was written that made it seem like it doesn't have good lasting power. Like it put all its funny out there, and you can't really see what else you can do with these four characters on the road because I mean, based on that pilot, it's very heavy-handed that it would just kind of be those four characters.
Yeah. Well, it could also be just they're doing the pilot and they felt like they have to like put their best foot forward and won't necessarily I don't know, guess the rest of the series wouldn't necessarily be as I feel it's almost like a condensed version of like this is exactly what a typical episode would be, you know?
But I don't know what you can do to make a whole season of that like
Yeah.
entertaining. I can't think of anything that would be lasting about it. Um, but if they can think about it and the show gets made, I'll watch it. I just
Yeah, I mean the show was always envisioned as a series, right? I mean the movie was always envisioned as a series, so I'm sure that they kind of have an idea series wise how it would break out.
if it gets made, I will watch it. Like I said, I enjoyed the actors. So if I have a couple of episodes in front of me, and I'm definitely gonna watch them. And then if it has that different tone and I can see where it's going, then good. I'm happy that everything worked out. Because I didn't hate the episode.
Yeah. The only person that threw me off was Tallahassee. The actor they pick, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about Woody Harrelson a little bit too much, but I don't know. It's just like the way he portrayed that character was just off to me.
Yeah, it's seems like they just dumbed that character down as a whole.
Kind of like overly dumbed that character down. And he looks really weird. Maybe because Woody Harrelson's skinny in the movie, and this guy seems to be he's a more heavy set guy.
Yeah, you know, I just hit my elbow. Yeah, he's got a bit of a wider face because Woody
Yeah.
Harrelson's got a much thinner look. But yeah, I just think it was more how the dude was written than anything else, unless he wrote
Yeah.
his own lines. But I don't think that was the case.
It'd be pretty funny.
But yeah, no, I mean, I had no major issues with the episode. I would like to see more of it. I don't know how the whole Amazon voting process thing is going to work or what shows in the lead or anything like that. But if it does get made, I will check it out.
I know last time I checked it, it had 4 stars, so I guess if they go by star ratings, I guess it would be made.
But isn't it going up against like other shows? It's a fight to the death between shows.
I don't think I don't think it works like that. At least it's not like there are multiple shows on there, but I don't think they're all fighting for a spot. I think if any show does particularly well, then it gets made into a series.
I
And
think
I've seen
it was a fight to the death.
it was like Survivor.
Yeah,
The show gets voted off the island.
yeah.
No, I don't think that's the case. At least I hope not. I think this will be made just because people just still are in love with zombies. Like since Walking Dead is so dark, it's good to have a zombie show that's somewhat lighter.
I will take more zombie shows. I will take them in both tones.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be made and it'll get better because me and you would both watch it because it wasn't terrible. Even if it was terrible, we'd probably watch it. Come on, let's be truthful.
Yeah.
All right, and then which brings us to our last point of talking here, which is a certain game that's coming out, which I haven't played, but I've pre-ordered the PS3 version. But Deadly Premonition, the director's cut,
Yay!
as one of my sins. I have not played the 360 version, which I heard is pretty good. So what's different between this version and the 360 version?
Um, they updated the graphics, and there's a new scenario at the beginning and end of the game.
Okay.
Apparently, straight from the mind of director Swery65. It's straight from his mind, so you know it's
They
gonna be
beamed it
good.
from his mind onto the
So
screen.
yes, so it's gonna be good. New item, an in-game camera where players can take snaps as they play. I'm reading, so that's why I sound like that. Explore Greenville in greater detail with the complete graphical overhaul. Oh yeah, that was the graphics thing from before. So yeah, you get a new item, a new scenario at the beginning and end. Remember, straight from the mind, and you get to play the whole game.
Yeah, I
Yay!
would. I definitely would recommend if you're going to pick this up to pick it up as soon as you can because I don't think they're making that many,
No.
and you don't have to pay like 80, $90. Like, what is it? What Deadly Premonition is what like 90, $100 on like Amazon right now?
Yeah, and that came when it originally came out. It was 1999. The addict that I am when it comes to buying these games, I bought it when it was $20. I played half of it. I'm a huge scaredy cat when it comes to horror games, but I love them so much. Um,
Yeah.
and it was I don't know, it was just something really special about it. And it's hard to describe. It's that warm feeling when you're watching Tales from the Crypt.
Nice. Well, it's got a cult following clearly, right? Because they made a PS3 version, so
Yeah,
so people loved it out there. I guess they sold out of the initial copies because it's hard to get now.
yeah, they definitely did not print that many, um, and like I know a few websites like back then too gave it a really high score just to call attention to I guess its uniqueness.
Yeah,
Um, I think Destructoid was one of them. They gave it like a 10 out of 10 if I remember right. Uh,
nice.
and yeah, like I don't want to give anything away because it's to me it's like a whole new release again, even though it's been out technically what like since 2010. Um, but it's yeah another detective story, and he's goes to a town to I think so like to investigate a homicide, and there are monsters that all that they're like ghosts um that come at you and they're like kill me, and then you shoot them and they're like no.
It sounds like you're describing a siren. What sort of siren? Remember siren?
Yeah,
What
it's the ghosts do remind me of that whole crazy like long hair, creepy. They do the backwards thing too. Oh my god. Yeah,
You sound like you're scaring yourself just talking about it.
yeah, the enemies, while they don't have like a lot of different enemies, the ones that they do have are just really creepy looking to me.
Thinking of getting the 360 version. I saw it for like $20 used.
For $20, you should totally get it. Especially since you'll play through it for the achievements and all. But and then you just hang on to it because it's one of those gems, and just keep it around in case you wanna ever play it again later on.
You did say the magic word achievements. I am quite an achievement whore.
Yay, achievements!
I don't know. Trophies just don't do it for me. It's all about the achievement points.
Trophies don't do it for free.
They don't do it for me. All right, so I think we've babbled on enough. So I guess we're gonna both sign off, and hopefully you found this entertaining.
Yay! Please try my product.
Oh, that was a nice reference. I like that one. Good stuff.
Yay!
All right, we're out of here.
Bye.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun,
That'd be the outro music if we had any.
dun. And then everybody dances off stage.
No, we all freeze and we like point to the air like we're like
Oh, nice. 80s freeze frame.
Like,